Hey everyone, my name's Kristen and welcome to my Cathedral Garden. If you are new here, I am a former elementary education major and teacher who is now a homeschooling mom to 4 kids. This past year, I had a 4th grader, a 2nd grader, a kindergartner, and a 3-year-old. And today, I am going to give you a walkthrough and a flip through of what we used to teach grammar to our 4th grader, and that was Fix It Grammar Level 1, the nose tree. So, let's get going, shall we? In my 4th grade recap video, I showed you a little bit of what all you needed and used with Fix It Grammar. I'll link that video up here, so I'm just gonna briefly go over that. You get a student guide and a teacher's manual, a teacher's guide. And then they tell you you will need a dictionary and a subject divided notebook of your own that's just blank. So those are the things that we had. I thoroughly enjoyed using this curriculum. It was very thorough. Like I said in that other video, they start off, it seems too simple, too easy, especially in the beginning. But by the end of the year, all of the things that they are correcting within a sentence is extraordinary. And that is what makes this curriculum so great. So without further ado, let's open up the books and look inside of them, look at them side by side, and show you how it works exactly. Okay, so Fix It Grammar, here we have all of the things you need: the student book, the teacher's manual, the dictionary, which this is just a beginning dictionary. It was actually mine as a child, and I really enjoyed using this. The words are a little bit larger, there's pictures to go with them, it's a little bit easier, and it's a good introduction to a dictionary. There were some words, vocabulary words, that they needed to look up that weren't in here, but that was not that big of a deal. And then of course their student notebook. So let's walk you through exactly how this curriculum works. So I'm going to turn it to the first page of the student book, and then I'm going to also open up the teacher's manual and show you what it looks like side by side, because you kind of need both. So here are just some resources for this particular curriculum on this page, which is so wonderful, very easy. And then here is your introduction, and it's so encouraging, you guys. I loved reading it. Okay, one thing in the introduction, you really want to make sure you read this, because it talks about how Fix It Grammar is different than the traditional method of teaching grammar. In a nutshell, instead of learning a concept or teaching a concept and then having a worksheet based off of only that concept, they teach grammar with real life sentences, and they teach different aspects of grammar and editing incrementally. And so these students learn how to apply grammar rules within a written work, and it's daily practice in editing that will help instill the habit of editing anything that they write, which is great. So they know that they're not traditional. It also tells you how it works, that you have to model it as a teacher, and if they make a mistake, it's an opportunity for learning. I love the thought and the heart behind this curriculum. So the introduction is super important. It lays out everything you need to know how to teach it. You can totally do this, okay? So let's get going and find out our instructions for week 1 and how they compare to instructions over here in our student book. So let me get this over here. You can see that here's this on the left is our student workbook. On the right is our teacher's manual, and it's basically a copy of their instructions over here, which is really neat. So you're seeing what they are seeing, and then here on the side, those are your instructions for what to do as a teacher. So it says read this introductory page with your student. Help them set up their Fix It Grammar notebook as described in the Get Ready section. This is a It's actually the grammar cards, and you were supposed to make like this little flip chart like this. I decided not to do that. I made just a notation to where they were kept in the book, and if he needed to know them, that's where we turned. Whether that was a good idea or not, I don't know, but it was easy for us. So it also tells you what to notice and all of those things. If you choose to use this curriculum, you can totally read all of this. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time here. I'm going to move on in so I can show you how this curriculum works. So once again, on the right is my teacher's manual. On the left is the student's manual. So we're going to start off on week 1. And once again, student manual, student notebook, teacher's manual. It's basically a copy of their page right here, which is fantastic. And your instructions are on the side, which is wonderful. So at the beginning of each week, there is a Learn It section, and at the top it tells you exactly what you're learning. So for week 1, we are concentrating on nouns, homophones, and end marks. So you would read the Learn It section, and not all Learn It sections are this long, but they are just setting up how this curriculum is going to work. Okay, and then you're going to come down here, and this tells you your instructions for how to fix your sentences, what you have to do daily to do this. And you can see I had my son check off each time he did those things each day. So each day they have to read the sentence, define the bold vocabulary word, fix and mark the sentence, discuss your work with your teacher, and rewrite the sentence in another notebook. So they would be looking at it like this. This is week 1. Here is day 1. Okay, here are the end marks that they need to use. A noun, you use an N, and they explain all of this over here. But that is the notation you're going to use above it. And then the vocabulary words. Okay, so day 1. They only do 1 sentence per day, which is fantastic. Super easy, super fast. They had to find the noun in the story, correct the end mark, or put one there if there was not one, and they had to define the bolded vocabulary word. So that is where this notebook comes in handy. So I even labeled this one with vocabulary. So he came here and I had him set it up like this. Here's week 1. The first word was poor, having little or no way to support yourself. And what ended up being really good about this is he had to read the sentence. Remember, your first section is read the sentence. And this made him work a little bit different and harder because he at the beginning, he just wanted to look up the definition first and go. And I was letting him do that. But he started realizing, oh, I'm not writing down the right thing because we're working on homophones. So, sorry, excuse me, I'm sniffling. So, did you ever hear the story of 3 poor soldiers? You got to put it in the context of your sentence, which was great. So, he did poor, having little or no way to support yourself. That's all he had to do for day 1. Correct it, and then I had to come through on day 1, and here is all of the stuff that I would need to talk about with day 1. So here's what his sentence should look like. Show your student, and it tells you exactly what to do. Once again, all the other pages are not this involved. They are helping both you and him learn what to do. See, here's a different example of another day 1 that's much shorter. This is day 1, this is day 2, so on and so forth. So it's not this involved or this in-depth. But this is telling you how to set it up, how to work with them, and what you need to tell him. Here's the vocabulary word and the definition that you're looking for. Some teacher's rules. So these are things that you might need to know, but they don't necessarily need to know. Teacher's note, okay? It gives you every single thing you need to be successful. All right, so next you would move on to day 2. So all he would have to do would be correct the sentence, write his vocabulary word, have you check the sentence with him, and then once you have checked the sentence and said, yes, that sentence is now correct, he would go over here to his notebook on the section marked out for him, and he would write down the sentence. Okay, just one sentence a day. Did you ever hear the story of the poor soldiers? But he would write it out as it was corrected here. Does that make sense? Then put it all away until the next day when you get to it, and you're now at day 2. You're going to do the same thing over again. Locate all the nouns, check your end marks, look for homophones. So look at your vocabulary word, and you're starting it all over again. You're going to define your vocabulary word. You're going to do your sentence. Have the teacher check it. Once it's corrected, you come and you rewrite it next to that. It just worked. It was so phenomenal, you guys, and it seems almost too easy, but I want to show you, this is just the beginning. This is the first week, day 1 and day 2 of this curriculum. I want to show you what we ended up doing at the very end. It was astounding. Okay, so here is week 1, but you can see as the weeks go on, I mean, this is pages. I don't even know if you can see or tell how many pages I'm actually flipping through. Pages of this story that he is rewriting correctly throughout this year. So that was week 1, day 1. I'm gonna flip y'all over in the teacher's manual and in our student book to the last week, which was week 33, and show you what it ended up looking like at week 33. Okay, week 33 in the teacher's manual. Let's flip on over in the student book over to week 33. So here it is now, just obviously a review. Let me turn this over. A review. They're talking about things they learned, asking yourselves these questions. Can you tell us what these vocabulary words mean? The same exact steps are going to be taken in this week as were taken in week 1. Here are the notes you have as a teacher, things that you need to be sure to tell them. But now let's see what all we were correcting. You guys, is that not astounding and amazing? I was just so impressed, and it looks like a lot, but don't be so scared. Don't be scared, because you're only doing this one sentence a day. It's like eating an elephant, just one bite at a time. So here are the fixes. Indent, and is this a new topic, speaker, place, or time? That's the rules for indenting, and you ask these same questions every time you need to indent. There are advanced options, so sometimes they'll write something that they think is part of a certain concept, and they're not wrong, it's just not correct, but they haven't gotten to that, they have not gotten that far or that advanced yet. So there are advanced options, and it tells you what to do. Prepositional phrases, clause starters. Here's our vocabulary words still. I mean, it really is just phenomenal. And then at the end of each week, I forgot to say this at the beginning, at the end of each week, it shows what their student rewrite for the week should look like in their notebook. I cannot say enough good things about this curriculum. It was short, concise, sweet, but very thorough, and it just worked. Here also at the end is a scope, oh good golly, it's a scope and sequence of Fix-It grammar, which is awesome. Okay, as you guys can probably tell, I really loved this curriculum. This is one that we will be retaining and keeping and using again for him next year, just in the next level. It is short, quick, concise, but thorough. I cannot get over what he was able to accomplish, and he doesn't even realize it. He really doesn't. And is he always proficient all the time in everything? Not necessarily, but he's pretty close, and that was great. The approach that they use, that's gentle, and the way that they say to correct them is just astounding. I cannot get over it. I enjoyed Fix It Grammar thoroughly. It's got my A+ stamp of approval. And as a teacher, as a homeschool mom, to have a curriculum that you know works, that you can trust, that it is now not even a thought, it is just, this is what we will be choosing for next year, is better than I can say. I love that that choice is now taken off my plate because I know that this works. So I hope that this has helped. If you have any other questions, let me know. Make sure to ask in the comments below, or send me a message on Instagram. I'm active over there. You can find me there at the same channel name as right up here. It's My Cathedral Garden, all one word. I love chatting with you guys over there. And I also love chatting with you here in the comments. If you have not subscribed, if you would not mind doing so, that would mean the world to me. It is something you can do that just helps me out more than you know. Also, if you liked this video and would like to see more videos like that, be sure to hit the like button. It lets me know what content is good and what you enjoy seeing, and it helps me make sure that you guys are here and hearing the things you want to hear, which is awesome. Also, if you want to make sure not to miss any video that I put out, don't forget to hit the notification bell and you will be notified anytime I have new content. All right, guys, until next time.